Hello, Tom Kosnick, founding partner of the Lighthouse Group, here with Shireen Daniels, owner of Lighthouse Financial Group. Shireen, welcome to our 3 Minutes of Wisdom, and tell us about Lighthouse Financial.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, so Lighthouse has been around for 30 years. So I'm second generation. My father started it out in the suburbs of Chicago, which is where I grew up. I've been doing this in the city for about a decade. So there are a ton of financial advisors out there, and we do a lot of investment and wealth management. But Lighthouse is unique in the sense that I do a lot of financial planning. And so really it's Lighthouse Financial Group's a concierge service, and we provide holistic advice on a first name basis.
Thank you, Shireen. That was a great introduction. The Lighthouse Group, we have a lot of clients that own their own businesses, and you and I have talked about the struggles of managing the finances of a small business. And so my question to you is, what are the tips in the best practices in managing your finances as a small business owner?
Sure. Yeah, I think that's really spot on. I mean, as a financial planner, I work with certainly individuals and couples, but probably a good half of my business is working with small business owners. And there's a couple things that I see really frequently. One being, and this is often with sole proprietors, but also with, people who have S corps and LLCs, it's the lack of the ability to keep the personal and business finances separate. So meaning, especially with sole proprietors, when you move money from one account to another, for example, from business to personal, it's kind of all commingled. So I really always recommend for business owners to be able to have a really clear idea of what their own, for example, business expenses are. And what does that look like on a fixed basis? What does that look like on a discretionary basis? And so I know you were dealing with this with some of your clients through the pandemic. That's one of the first things I went to is, if we're struggling, if we have a lesser amount of income, let's really figure out, what do you need? Is there something that you can temporarily pull back on? And I also think a lot of business owners, they're so focused on what they do as a business, but the finances really come to the back end. And so they don't really have an idea of what's coming in and what's going out and the timing of all of that. It kind of just happens. Income and expenses are just happening instead of having a real ownership of why is it happening? Why are my expenses and how much am I really making from a W-2 perspective, my distributions? So that I would say is a really big thing. The other pitfall I see so often is that there's a lack of planning. And not even that it's purposeful, but, and you and I have discussed this as well, but so many business owners, their income fluctuates, whether it's a commission base or there's different sales cycles, or do we make more around the holidays? And so business owners have a really hard time saying, well, I can do this on a monthly basis because I don't know what my income is going to be. And while that is true, there is totally an ability to still plan. It's kind of like for individuals, if I were to say, I'm going to see what's left over at the end of each month, and then I'll contribute more to my mortgage, how many people are making extra payments to their mortgages? Not that many. That's why people do it automatically. And so the same thing goes for businesses, is that most business owners, they wait till the end of the year to see what's left to maybe make that retirement contribution, or maybe decide what capital improvement they're going to make. And so really having an ongoing idea and to be able to plan within that. So just small example, I have a lot of my clients will make monthly contributions to their 401k. We will save on a monthly basis as well to make a bigger year-end contribution, so it's already there. So if something happens and they, maybe income goes down or they have bigger expenses, but we've already planned for that contribution. And then the last thing I would say is that what helps with all of this is having a really good team. So not just someone to do their taxes, but to have a real tax planning professional, to definitely work with an advisor. And I think that's one of the things that I see with my clients is that financial advisors, yes, can help make good investment decisions. But a lot of business professionals, it's not just about how do you invest the money, it's how do you plan for those short, medium, and long-term goals? How do you decide to figure out how you still maximize retirement in a bad year and a good year? So having a really solid team makes the world a difference for the financial success of business owners.
Shireen, great input. Managing the finances, having a plan, having a good team to support you, all great ideas. What one piece of wisdom would you like to leave with our listeners today?
Well, coming from the most type A person that you may ever meet, you can't overplan and overorganize. When I start getting anxious, I go through cash flow and I go through my numbers. That's what calms me down. So you can't overplan and you can't, overorganize. And, the day after the election, it's just buy more toilet paper.
Shireen Daniels, owner of Lighthouse Financial Group. Shireen, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks, Tom.